And there we go. Welcome into the Radio Misfits for a Tuesday evening. I am Pugs Moran. Did I do a name today? I don't think I did a name today. Yeah, I kind of did a name today. Hey, James. I can only see half your face.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm on the wrong screen. Oh, I see what's going on. Why are you doing this layout?
I don't know why. I didn't do anything different. I changed nothing.
There we go. Let's do this.
That's fine by me. All right, got a little bit of the cough going on. It has been an eventful day around these parts. How about you, James? Did you have a good Tuesday? Taco Tuesday, National Taco Day. It's not just Taco Tuesday, James. It's National Taco Day. Happens once a year. Just so happened to fall on Tuesday, which we all know is a Taco Tuesday, but it's also National Boyfriend's Day, James. Were you even aware that there was such a thing?
No. Well, look, every day is something. So, tomorrow it's going to be National Oreo Day or National Corn Dog Day or National Left Shoe Day. But I can't muster up any kind of give a crap.
No, you're right. Every day is a designated something. I mean, there are lobby groups, there are brand awareness groups, there are all kinds of advocacy groups, and they make it their point to get at least one day. They pay off a congressman, and a congressman writes a proclamation, and all of a sudden, December the 3rd is National Fajita Day. That's how these things happen.
Day. Yeah. So, hey, not to chase rabbits here, but there was a weird thing about the French Revolution when they rewrote the calendar. Do you know about this? They rewrote the calendar in the French Revolution.
Yeah, we skipped days. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, and they renamed the months. They renamed them like Thermidor and stuff like that. And they actually did have a sort of holiday for every day. And it wasn't a holiday like, yay, let's go out and get drunk or whatever. But it was like, so on the 4th day of Thermidor in the year 2, because the revolution reset the clock, we are to contemplate lettuce. And so there was something for every day that they had. And that's kind of like what I feel like we've accidentally backed into is sort of the Thermidorian calendar of the French Revolution, where there's something we're supposed to contemplate every day, as
No, I mean, look, and so what if it is? It shouldn't be anything that becomes an obstacle in anyone's everyday life. I mean, your day wasn't obstructed for National Girlfriend's Day. It's not a banking holiday. It's not like you can't park on the right-hand side of the street because it's National Taco Day or whatever. These things are harmless. But the reason I bring these two up is because, every day, I do the show Monday through Friday, the High Noon Show. So every day I'm briefed up on what this day represents. Every day is something. But this National Boyfriend's Day, I had never heard of this before. And it got a lot of play. I mean, look, like I say, every day has a day. But for this morning, like the CBS Morning News did a whole segment on National Boyfriend's Day. The National Boyfriend's Day was trending all afternoon. So, I mean, yes, there are a lot of just completely forgettable days every day. Tomorrow will be National Hamster Appreciation Day. Totally forgettable. But for some reason, this National Boyfriend's Day doesn't seem to be all that forgettable. It seemed to be getting some degree of PR push early today, especially on the news shows. And I'm wondering why that is. And I had to look into National Boyfriend Day, and I did not learn a whole lot about National Boyfriend Day, other than it's been around since 1993. And there you have it. Ta-da!
Are we done with this now?
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, we can be if you don't want to be. Yeah, I was going to riff a little bit on, how you celebrate National Boyfriend Day, but no, what do you got? You got something?
We're not. So is National Boyfriend Day, are you talking about this is the level where like people actually exchange gifts?
Well, it is supposed to be a day here. I'll read you the exact description of what this very day is. Something for the younger people, people of our age. We shouldn't have girlfriends and boyfriends.
Well, you should if you're not married.
Okay, it still seems like a childish thing. All right, National Boyfriend Day, October the 3rd. Let's learn about this. This is from the National Day Calendar. It's going to tell us everything we need to know about this day. National Boyfriend Day, October the 3rd, National Boyfriend Day, sometimes referred to as National Boyfriend's Day. Recognizes the sweetheart in your life like special days for family members. This day dedicates attention to the boyfriends in our lives. Whether the relationship is new or seasoned, James, boyfriends bring unique meaning to our lives from romantic, okay, blah, blah, blah. What else does it say?
Does it say that they're of all the people on the planet, they're the ones that are most likely to kill you? Is that something?
Yeah, right. They're the most dangerous.
Right.
How to observe National Boyfriend Day, James. Here we go. Here are some tips from the.
Well, here's what you do: peruse the news and go to the most horrible stories of abuse and see how many of them are mom's boyfriend.
I said just leave him alone. Just leave him alone today. Let him go out with his buddies. That's what he wants. You want to let him go out with his buddies tonight. Go out, bar, let him like, flirt with girls and all that. And then let him come home and have sex with you. National Boyfriend's Day. That's really all he wants.
You're taking? Is this the courageous stand you're taking?
What? No, what do you think a 25-year-old boyfriend wants today? You know what I mean? If you really want to celebrate National Boyfriend's Day, leave him alone. Let him go hang out with his buddies. Let him go out to a bar, hang out with the boys, and then let him come home and, then you guys have sex. No questions asked. National Boyfriend's Day. He doesn't want to spend it with you. He don't want a romantic dinner for National Boyfriend's Day. Are you kidding me?
Well, he might not want the romantic dinner, but he might want to hang out with her.
Okay, please. They've been going out. In my scenario, they've been going out now a good 6-7 months. It's basically just at the point where nobody wants to break up with the other. They know they're not getting married. They're just in a relationship. That's what this relationship is. He doesn't want to hang out with her just to hang out with her. He still likes having sex with her. That's why he's still involved.
I can't believe you're divorced twice because you're such a hopeless romantic.
There you go. All right. How do you observe National Boyfriend Day? This is how the experts advise us. Let him know, James, how important he is to you. Feed the ego.
Fine.
Very big. Oh, you're so important to me. Especially when rent comes due. In this scenario, I'm thinking sugar baby. 2, consider taking him on a scavenger hunt. Oh my God.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, that's awful. Yeah, that's it. Consider it. And then just don't do that. He does not want to spend National Boyfriend Day on some stupid chick souvenir hunt. That sounds awful.
Scavenger hunt. But yes, we got your point. I think I would like that. I mean, she did it right.
You are lame. All right, the third one, surprise him with a romantic getaway to a place he's talked about. Okay, this could work.
Food court?
Like, what places he talked about? I don't know. That could work. That's fine. Surprise him with a get. Okay, we're going to go somewhere. That's fun. Most boyfriends are like big, dumb dogs. You're going to squire us off for a weekend at a hotel. We're down for that.
Yeah, but not. I'm trying to think of what would 25-year-old James do. Like, we don't have to go spend a bunch of money and go stay in a hotel in some other town. We can just do it right here. That's what I want. And I mean, maybe we can hang out with our friends, but
wouldn't you rather just go out of town and check into a hotel? I used to love doing that. I used to do that a lot.
Well, if money's not an option, but 25-year-old James did not have the disposable income that would be such a painless weekend.
Well, money doesn't have to be an option. I mean, you can go to the local Holiday Inn. Just the whole idea of being somewhere else, going out to dinner, then going home to a hotel room. Even if the hotel's in like your hometown, you don't have to travel anywhere.
I don't know. I really felt like, especially when I lived alone, it was like living in the greatest hotel room. Period.
I love hotels. I want to live in a hotel. That is my goal. I want to live in a hotel.
You like that? You don't like having a kitchen?
Oh, I love it. I love the idea of living in a hotel. I saw a depiction of hotel living once in a film in the 1970s, and it was the Plaza in New York, and this dude lived in a suite at the Plaza, and it was it, man. Butlers, concierge, everything was done for you. I mean, it probably
that sounds nice.
Ridiculously expensive, but
well, anyway, I think I could live in a hotel, but I have to have a kitchen.
No, I don't want to cook. All right, moving on. Surprise him with a romantic getaway to a place he talked about. Okay, we did that one. All right, here's another how to celebrate National Boyfriend's Day. Take him to a movie of his choosing. Wasn't that every time you go to a movie?
The girl chooses more often than the guy.
Never agreed to that. Mm-mm. I do a good enough job of convincing the girl why she wants to see the movie I want to see.
What if she has something she really wants to see?
Then she can go with her friends. That's what her friends and her mom is for. If they can go when I'm on a Tuesday night when I'm out drinking with my buddies, she can go see that stupid movie with her mom.
Bro, you don't watch the chick movies that get them, they're boring as hell, but they get her all emotional and sort of existential and sort of longing, and you're right there to pick up the pieces and like
On the
your
couch.
art.
On the couch, sure. That's fine on the couch. I don't get up.
Not at the theater.
I don't put on shoes to go through that. You do that on the couch. All right, here's another one. Another tip on how to observe National Boyfriend Day by the experts. Pick a sporting event to his favorite team. Now you're just pandering. That's thoughtless. That's so stupid.
Someone just had to fill out a column by 5 o'clock on Friday, and they
right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right, there you go. National Boyfriend's Day. That's all I got. James, what do you got? What's on your mind today?
I was doing some research for a segment on my TV show tomorrow. Okay. And so I was doing this day in history for tomorrow. So this is a little off. But I found something that was kind of cool and kind of, I don't know, weird.
Okay.
So is on this day in history tomorrow.
Okay.
You back it up 124 years. And there was a smallpox outbreak in Laredo. And this is cool because my grandfather's from Laredo. My mom went to school through middle school in Laredo, and I still have a lot of family there. So I was like, ooh, Laredo, what's going on? So 124 years ago this day, October 4th, 1898, they even have an example of one of the little signs. This is shared out, right? Yeah, smallpox, keep out of this house. And then by order of health, or by order of board of health officer, any person removing this card without authority is liable to prosecution. Yes. So the story is, on this day there was a smallpox outbreak, and so they set up a tent outside of town, like a big Red Cross tent, to quarantine the sick and kind of try and remove them from the population. And things were getting better for a while, but things started to get worse again, and everyone panicked. And so the local authorities couldn't seal off the town. People were sneaking stuff over the borders. The people were sneaking stuff, through the American side. And so they asked for the Texas Rangers to come in and help seal off Laredo. A skirmish breaks out. People die. And finally, the 10th United States Cavalry had to be called in to help maintain the peace. And by May, the quarantine was lifted.
They just kill all the people with smallpox?
No, they didn't just kill all the people with smallpox.
that sounds like that could have been a way to control it.
But here's where the problem came. Once they finally got it sealed off, they started to do house-to-house vaccinations. And some Laredo residents resisted the vaccinations. And so that the Texas Rangers were called in to assist, try and convince people and get as many people vaccinated as possible. But there was the gun battle happened in March of 1899.
Of course.
And yeah, so it's just weird. I'd not to take a side on any of this, but it's just funny how, man, that sounds familiar. They went house to house trying to get everyone vaccinated against this disease. Wow. Yeah. I wonder if that's going to repeat itself later down the historical timeline. And I also saw a great meme today that says, just think of how lucky we are to be on one of the few timelines, as far as dimensions go, one of the few timelines where Post Malone isn't a line cook.
Hey, actually, though, that is an interesting thing to consider, to contemplate. That's where of all the timelines throughout, the last millennia or so, throughout human history, we're on a pretty cool one. We got some pretty good stuff going on. Like I always point out how we are the last human. We are the last generation of human being who remembers the world before computers. It really was the dark age and the digital age. There really was a complete shift in the way the world views itself. We are the last people who will remember it before it all changed. When we're dead, it's over. It's just going to be people who, that's pretty cool. We are really straddling a transition period in humanity.
Well, there's, I was on the set yesterday, and there's two other production assistants that, people walk around with headphones on. and one girl is on the camera and she's like 19, 20. She's still in college. And then the other guy, he's like 30. And we were talking about, I think I'd like did a Silence of the Lambs voice, like puts the lotion in the basket or
Yeah.
whatever. And I was like, she probably doesn't even get that joke. And he's like, oh, you hadn't seen Silence of the Lambs? And she was like, no. He's like, yeah, but that's just a movie. I go, check this out. Have you heard a dial tone before? And she's like, a dial tone? You mean like a dial tone? Yeah. And she did this. She had no idea what I was talking about. She didn't even know what a dial tone was, or this is probably the first that she's ever been informed that a dial tone even exists. So,
And how old is she? You said she's like 20?
She's like 19 or 20. She's in her second year of college. She's just like a little part-timer.
Yeah, I mean, look, we lived in a different age of human existence.
But we've made this joke before that my kids have never heard a dial tone. Well, you know what? Now there's adults that haven't heard a dial tone.
Yeah, well, I always try to fool my kid with that stuff, where you give them some kind of a tool or appliance that isn't, used regularly now. Like I gave him a can opener once to see a hand crank can opener. And I was like, this is going to be funny. Hey, here, can you open a can? And he did it. He figured it out. It took him like 30 seconds.
Good.
But, it was pretty much, I'm like, how did you do that? I go, I just watched a video with a bunch of kids that couldn't do it. And he's like, well, he goes, it kind of makes sense. This looks like a dig. So, record players, like, do you think your kid would know how to drop the needle on a record player?
I think no Rex has seen it.
Yeah.
Maybe not. The younger ones definitely not.
Would they know how to make a phone call with a phone that had a dial tone?
No, none of them would.
No, none of them. Yeah, I can't imagine that my kid would either.
No.
All right.
All right. The other thing tomorrow on this day in Texas history.
Mm-hmm.
Janis Joplin died October 4th, 1970,
man.
27 Club. I know you have some opinions about the old 27 Club. Would Janis Joplin be as highly revered had she not died so young? Do I think? Yeah, because that's a good question, because a lot of these people, we just exalt because they died young, and we make the leap that they would have had, album after album of number one hit throughout the ages, but that's not a guarantee. I mean, there's a lot of these people. There's a lot of people who have one or two hits and then they never do anything again, right? Most people have.
Yeah. So the idea of I think Janis Joplin would, because she was so singularly unique in her talent and what she did. I think that she probably would have gone on. We could have seen out of a Janis Joplin like what we saw from a Bette Midler or a Barbara Streisand. I could completely see that. Yeah. So I think. Yeah.
I thought you were. I think her analog is closer to an Amy Winehouse. She's got some pipes, but it's not polished, and it's kind of sloppy, but it's kind of funky, but it's kind of.
No, she was a great blues singer, man. She would. I think she probably would have gone into R&B. I bet you Janis Joplin would have had a bunch of disco hits. Oh my God, you have. Yeah, she was and pipes. She had had pipes. She's arguably one of the greatest vocalists in rock and roll history. Janis.
No, dude, she doesn't hold her pitch well. She's all.
Oh, dude, you could not be more wrong about this. Janis Joplin, you're saying, has a terrible voice. Okay, well, look, you're also a guy who doesn't even understand what Crosby, Stills, and Nash did to American popular music. So I'm not going to have this conversation with you. Janis Joplin, who, by the way, is not my cup of tea. But she is a singular talent. So I think she would have been. I think she would have gone. What do you think? What do you think, like Jimi Hendrix? Do you think Jimi Hendrix would have gone on?
Yeah, no, Jimi Hendrix would have turned into what Prince did for my generation, because Prince didn't put out number one hits after a certain point, but he would never diminish in his both his popularity and his sort of critical. You can't talk smack, whether you like him or not. You can't talk smack about him. He's an amazing guitarist. He wrote amazing songs. He has a bazillion hits. He's got his own style. He didn't copy anybody. No one's been able to replicate what he did. And Jimi Hendrix is sort of like Prince for me.
See, but I wanted Prince. Now, Prince is like huge. So you're suggesting that Jimi Hendrix would have held on to his mammoth status that he enjoyed at the time of his death, and that he would have been an iconic guy.
And look, that's the benefit you get from actually making difficult, complex music and not just cranking out 4-chord pop hits. That's why Ashley Simpson is a nobody. That's why Vitamin C is a nobody. That's why
I see Jimi Hendrix having a career much like Jeff Beck, people like that, Eric Clapton, just highly regarded for his. I don't Prince. Prince is different.
Eric Clapton's a good comparison.
Yeah. All right. The one that I always think is the big miss, the one that would have completely changed rock and roll is Buddy Holly. But the Buddy Holly death, that's the one. That guy at the time of his death, what he was doing in music was not being done by anybody. He was the first artist producer. He was the first guy who wrote his own songs, put his own band together, and then went into a studio in New York City and said, no, I'm not going to have a producer. I am producing this. He wrote, he was doing some really, really cool artistic stuff.
And then after all that, he died when he was 22.
Yeah. Just a freaking kid from the sticks out there in Lubbock, Texas. Goes all the way to New York City, kicks the door in at the Brill Building and says, no, you know what? I'm producing all this shit now. I ain't doing any of it. And he had hit after hit after hit. He was really incredible. Kurt Cobain. What do you think Kurt Cobain would have done? Would he have been a solo artist, or
he would have been just what Eddie Vedder is now? He might have.
Well, Pearl Jam never broke up. Eddie Vedder is still a member of Pearl Jam. Nirvana. So maybe okay, you're right, because Nirvana broke up because he died. So maybe they would have stayed together. That's interesting.
Well, I have no idea if they were about to break up, but even if he delays the suicide, then he's Chris Cornell. They had reached the limit to how famous they were going to get, and they were never going to be as famous as that sort of wave from the Nevermind to In Utero or whatever. But he would still be highly regarded because he made his own way and he wasn't copying anybody. And a lot of people did try and copy him. But I don't know. You sort of get street cred for not doing power chords and pop songs.
I want to go back to this, what Bill said in the chat room. He said Janis Joplin was bullied in high school by Coach Jimmy Johnson. Yeah, she sure was. And it was one of the most incredible interview moments that I've ever had in all of my years of sitting down and talking.
I don't know about this.
Oh my God. Jimmy Johnson was with Kelly and I. We were out at Texas Motor Speedway for the Texas 400, and we're sitting there on the air doing the show.
Hang on. Jimmy Johnson, the coach, or the race car guy?
Jimmy Johnson. Yeah, right. Okay, good. Nice distinction. Jimmy Johnson, the coach. Jimmy Johnson of NFL Today, Dallas Cowboys, University of Miami. Jimmy Johnson. So we had interviewed Jimmy Johnson before, and he was always a really good guy, like a cool dude, a good guy. Sit around and he'll talk. We only had him for like 10 minutes, right? Because you know how those things are. We're gonna bring him by for 10 minutes, but it's got to be really quick in and out. Jimmy was the kind of guy who you'd get 10 minutes and he'd stay 30, 40 minutes. He was a cool guy. So we knew we were going to have a good interview. And Jimmy Johnson comes in and we start talking about his life growing up in Port Arthur. And he starts talking about all of his old friends from high school. And he mentions Janis Joplin. And we were taken aback by it. And I'm like, wait, what do you mean? You went to high school with Janis Joplin? And he's like, yeah. I knew Janis since second grade. Janis and I were in grade second through, like, he lived like on the same block as her and all that stuff. And I asked her, I said, what was she like? What was it like did you realize that you were around somebody, that had that X factor, that had that thing that was going to break out? And Jimmy Johnson, James, got super serious. He got super choked up, and Jimmy Johnson started to cry in the middle of the interview. He started to cry over the idea or over telling the story of how he was so mean to Janis Joplin and how they treated her like she was a freak. And he's like, you have to understand, we were all buzz-cut hillbillies, and she was this artist, and she didn't fit in. And, she had a mental breakdown, and Jimmy Johnson claimed that like he and his friends were responsible for it. It was a really nice moment of a man who has lived a life and has regrets and is willing at this age to sit there and look at his life and go, yeah, man, I did some bad things, and here's one that I regret. And it just so happened that it concerned Janis Joplin. Jimmy Johnson talking about brutalizing Janis Joplin as a teenager. It was pretty great.
Holy crap. I didn't know about any of this until today.
Yeah. I mean, and you know how it is. Sometimes these interviews take a weird turn where you're like, okay, I didn't know that just a simple question about Janis Joplin was going to turn into the Dallas Cowboys legendary coach crying in front of us because he's so upset about, thinking about how mean he was. Yeah, I don't know. I think Jimmy Johnson is just a wonderful man. I mean, anybody who could be that cool with who they are in that moment that you would, because Jimmy Johnson, you think football guy, meathead, right? Not in touch with his feelings.
Sure.
He was just a real well evolved, in touch with his feelings dude in that moment. Anyway, there you have it. What else? We got anything else? We're talking about people who died. I don't know if we need to continue with this.
No, I was just saying that's just some stuff I was looking in for the TV show tomorrow is those two things in Texas history on this day tomorrow. So I don't know. It's kind of funny. I was thinking about, since we do our show so late, what if we just did tomorrow's this day in history, and then it would ruin it for every show you're going to hear tomorrow because they would all sound like hacks because we already told you about it.
Well, it would ruin it for the first 20 minutes of tomorrow's high noon show, since that's how I open every high noon show. But I don't care.
Do it more.
I don't know. I don't kind of fits with that format. But whatever you want to do, takes are takes. It might be covered the same way 2 different days in a row. I don't care. Not a big deal. I do want to tell you all about something that is happening tomorrow, though. So be aware. I believe it's at 1:20 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. James, are you aware of the nationwide FEMA test?
Yeah, the Amber Alert, the Big Brother's gonna.
It ain't an Amber Alert. It's like an Amber Alert on steroids. The big test is happening tomorrow. It's a FEMA test. It's going to rock all of our cell phones, our laptops, our TVs. I don't know. Back when I was a kid, it was, this is a test. This is a test of the emergency broadcast. Now it just, goes to our cell phones and all that stuff. Government will test an emergency cell phone alert system on Wednesday nationwide. James, don't be alarmed by the emergency alert on your cell phone at 1:20 p.m. Central Standard Time Wednesday, 1:20 Central Standard Time. It's just FEMA in the FCC testing a key system designed to keep people safe in the face of dangerous weather or other threats. There you have it.
This is dumb. This is really dumb.
Why is it dumb? What is with the cynical, just from the gut instant cynic? Why is this dumb? You don't think that you don't think there's an advantage in being able to warn everybody of something that could possibly happen? Tell me why it's dumb.
If you want to get alerts on your phone, there's already a bazillion places you can sign up with to get alerts on your phone. No one has a hurricane sneaking up on them in 2023 where if the government doesn't text you, I didn't know this was going to happen. You can't get away from hyperbolic alerts and warnings and, oh my goodness, there's this, what's in your kitchen that could kill you and all this stuff. It's just, it's ridiculous. It's too much, and just because everything sounds like a good idea doesn't mean it has to be a federal taxpayer subsidized program to get alerts on my freaking phone. We're going to get alerts on your phone.
God.
What if I don't want to get alerts on my phone? What if then
fucking toughen up, dude. You're a citizen of a civilized society. Get in line. Stop complaining about everything. Like, this is a problem. My God. I get Amber Alerts that go off 3 times a day.
Yeah, well, I don't, and I like being able to turn it off.
All right, fine. Nuclear annihilation. You can tell you weren't raised in the 1970s with the duck and cover drills. And
I love you bring up that example of all the duck and cover time and effort and resources that they spent. 100% of it was wasted. We were never bombed, much less with a nuclear bomb.
Holy fuck, man!
What?
That's revisionist history. Yes, you're right. Thankfully, we were never attacked. So why would we ever plan for it? Why would we ever want to be prepared because we were never attacked? That's absurd. You think that all of that was waste. Preparing for the potential, intercontinental ballistic missile attack from the Soviet Union. You think preparing for that in any way, shape, or form was all a waste of time because here we sit in 2023 and it never happened. That's your argument.
Over the same time span, we had the exact same amount of nuclear bomb damage as we had damage from dragons. And we didn't have anti-dragon PSAs. This was a fantasy that wasn't going to happen.
That is a stupid person argument, James. Dragons aren't real and nuclear war is. Okay? That's a completely fucking stupid argument. Dragons?
Where was the nuclear bomb dropped? Did they drop one in America? Where was it?
There is no such thing as a dragon. There is such a thing as a nuclear bomb. This is an absurd argument, Jay.
I know, but we've had the same amount of damage from both. Look, you can't tell me it's like this is you can't tell me you got to be scared and concerned and ready because the nuclear bomb's going to drop. And you say that every day for 50 years.
Yeah.
It should be less believable to you at this point. It should be like, yeah. I think you're wrong about the nuclear bomb thing. You know,
No. See, because I'm not a fucking moron, James. That's a stupid person who goes, well, it's never happened, so I guess it never will. Staying prepared in hostile. I mean, the Cold War was fucking crazy, man. We grew up with the idea that we could all be dead in 40 minutes. I mean, you were spared that. That's the difference between our age. You didn't have that as the formative message of your coming of age years.
Right. And it scarred you so much that you can't see in hindsight all of that was wasted. All of that was necessarily wasted. Of all the people who heard that message, who was able to put that training into practice, even if it is good training.
You're ratcheting victories based on hindsight because nuclear war didn't happen. That's because it was never a possibility. So it never could have happened. It was all Berlin in what was Berlin? Berlin was 60, Bay of Pigs. We never came close. Never. There was never a reason for us to maybe be prepared.
No, I think I can explain this better. Just give me a shot. If I started wearing a bulletproof vest and I was like, Pugs, people get shot every day. There's a real chance I could get shot. And then I mocked you for not wearing a bulletproof vest because you're an idiot. Because of course bullets are real and people get shot every day. 50 years after this, wouldn't you be a little abraised? After if this happened every day for 50 years, wouldn't you be like, I'm tired of this garbage?
It's not the same. I mean, I can see how in your attempt to try and win this argument, that would make sense to you. That doesn't make any sense to me. I believe bullets are real. I believe people get shot every day. I am not even remotely interested in wearing a bulletproof vest. That's not the way that I would go about mitigating the possibility of me being shot.
What if trying to think of
come on, man, this is a dumb argument.
No, I think I'm right, but it's so hard to get people admit that that was overblown. We didn't have to worry about it. Obviously we didn't have to worry about it. We still haven't been hit with the bomb. We hadn't been hit with a water balloon.
All right, so alert systems are a waste of time. That's it. This is just my pushback on your instantly cynical reaction to this.
They are a waste of time, though.
They're not.
And all of these PSAs have shown themselves in hindsight to be a complete waste of resources.
Well, you know what? Knock on wood. Let's hope they are a waste of time. I'm with you. I hope you're right. I hope
wear a bulletproof vest every day. If that's the case, then you're more likely to be shot than hit with a nuclear bomb, aren't you? And yes, that's not even mathematically arguable. Of course, people are shot every day. No one's been killed with a nuclear bomb in America in the history of America. So the score 0 for nuclear weapons. This for bullets, it's like 6,000 people die from them a year, but you're not wearing a bulletproof vest.
And this is a fair argument that you could sleep at night winning because there's as many nuclear bombs as there are bullets and guns and all. That's a fair equation. That there are more incidents concerning guns and bullets, and there's never been one concerning a nuclear. That's the argument you're making.
I think it's an airtight metaphor in the fact.
And you don't think maybe there's 1,000 to 1 bullets and guns to nuclear bombs? You don't think that's a bit unfair, the argument you're making there?
No, the point is your concern over this one thing that has never killed anyone is bigger than your concern over this other thing that kills everyone every day. Almost all of them.
Man, this is a bad argument. This is a bad argument. Go back to home base. Your home base is that warning systems are all a waste of time, and that the 1970s duck and cover system was a waste of time because we never had nuclear war. That's your argument. I want to get back to this. And you're sticking with that because we never had a nuclear war, it was all a waste of time. Your hindsight proclamation is that was all a waste of time.
Okay, if I said, Pugs, I'm gonna go spend $400 on this really nice bulletproof vest, and I wore it every day for a month, and I would at the end of the month, would you say that $400 was a good investment or was that wasted?
It's very similar to your drunk driving argument.
It is.
It's very similar, that because you personally have never been affected by it, because it has that, it's just not a thing. Which, hey, I love you, I wish you well, but I'm done with this.
But that's not my argument. That this is how you rephrase my argument, so you don't actually have to deal with the fact that mathematically speaking, yes, more people have been killed by guns, and guns are a much bigger threat. Yet you don't wear a vest. There are limits.
That mathematical argument is mathematically insincere. It's not a fair mathematical argument, James. If there's 1 billion guns and 5 nuclear weapons, it's not a fair argument. Yes, the likelihood of me being shot is greater than me being killed in the nuclear war.
And that's exactly why the Duck and Cover series was such a failure and a dumb waste of resources to begin with. And it scared the crap out of us.
Here's the difference. Here's the difference. 1 bullet, 1 gun, that shoots me. In the scenario where the duck and cover thing might have been needed, we're talking about hundreds of thousands of people vaporized, okay? It's a completely different scenario, and that's why I push back on your argument.
The same amount of Americans over the same time span were killed by unicorns. It was a waste.
Unicorns aren't real, but the threat of nuclear proliferation is real, James. You're making these arguments.
I know, but no, we're not looking at a projection of what was ahead of us. We can say for the last, 50, 60 years that we've had duck and cover crap, all of that has been wasted resources. That is not arguable. All of that was for nothing because we haven't had. If I wore a life jacket and it never flooded, I wore a life jacket for no reason. If I wore a bulletproof vest and no one shot at me, I wore a bulletproof vest for no reason.
So the absolute same can be said for the American defense budget of the last 50 years. Absolutely.
Oh man, a lot of it, a whole lot of it. You're not wrong on that. A whole lot of that.
There's no being consistent.
Oh yeah, no. This is one thing you like about me. I say crazy stuff at my crazy.
Yeah.
But there's no explanation why we need 600 overseas military installations. I mean, look, I don't know what the correct number is, but I bet we can cut it in half and somehow get by on just 300, considering there's not even that many countries on the planet Earth. So yeah, I agree with you on that point.
All right, let's switch speeds. I want to switch speeds right now because I want to go back to something we talked about yesterday that we didn't really get into to the degree that I wanted. But there is a little bit more information here. James, yesterday we were talking about the Trevor Bauer situation, the pitcher who was accused of raping this woman, and he had to shut up about it for 2 years, and he watched his entire career go down the toilet, and now he's able to talk, and he has made public a whole bunch of stuff that wasn't made public during the very public conversation about what Trevor Bauer did or didn't do. So he released it all, and it was all pretty shocking. And it all really does paint a picture of a girl who set this guy up, a guy who, again, I'll keep saying this, is not a likable guy. He's a guy that a lot of people don't like. So, when bad things happen to assholes, people are a lot like, well, okay, root for it. But it doesn't make what she did to him okay. This is a woman who used the air of the moment, the Me Too moment, to basically try and get herself a big bag of cash from a wealthy athlete who was vulnerable in this situation. We know for a fact now that she set him up. It's been 2 years. She walked away with absolutely nothing. There was no money exchanged. The police refused to prosecute. The prosecutors refused to even bring charges. And 2 judges have thrown out 2 separate civil cases that she brought against him, citing lack of evidence. So here we sit, James, and it's looking like it really was just 100% some psycho chick trying to just bilk some cash out of a vulnerable athlete. An asshole, but still vulnerable. Why? Because he's a big dumb meathead who's probably just looking to have sex with hot girls, and she made that an option, and he fell for it. So there's now some more video of this girl. There's now some more video. This video was released today. Here, oh my goodness. Okay, hold on. It shows the girl. This is the girl. I mean, this is just all about character, right? At this point, we just want to see. Oh crap! I don't want to share that. Hold on. Boom, boom, boom. So here's some video of this girl at a concert, and this is the girl who brought the bullshit charges against Trevor Bauer. This is her at a concert being kicked out of a concert for being a drunk, angry, violent bitch. So should we take a look at her? She's becoming famous, James. She's about to become a real famous lady. Here she is. That's her right there.
No, actually, fuck you. You gotta go. getting the sheriff.
Actually, I'm sorry. It was
How you doing? That metro's coming.
Well, I want to make sure that nothing happens.
You can go. No, you can go. You can go. No, actually, yes, ma'am. Yes, no, I will.
She's drunk already.
No, ma'am.
This guy's like,
She should pick a fight with everybody. And now security's coming to take her away. All right, well, there you have it. That's the latest video of her. She seems like a sweetheart. She doesn't seem like hot trash at all. That's all. She's just hot, and she's trash. And she's got rage in her, and she's got duplicity in her. She is not a good person. She's young. She's got time to fix it, but, you know.
Yeah, we all know girls like that. We all know girls that are just nasty, ate up swamp donkeys, and they drink too much and they get a little violent. And then, you know, you can go all the way through the spectrum to girls that are absolutely beautiful, but they have the same personality flaws. They drink too much and they like to get into fights and they get a little agitated and irritated and sometimes violent when they've had too much to drink. And okay, well, we learned a little bit about her there.
Well, I mean, I think all we know for the past 2 years is that she was this unnamed victim of this brutal, wealthy baseball player's sexual, you know, proclivities. You know, that's all and now we get to see from him her text messages back and forth with friends talking about how she was going to steal things from his house, her sending text messages about how she needs to get him to choke her because she wants it rough. You know, that'll make her case better. She's actually saying these things in text messages to other people that have now been made public. And then there's, of course, the video the morning that she was raped or the morning after she was raped. There's video of her in bed with Trevor Bauer, and she's smiling at the camera and laughing. Now, according to what she told police, that was the most traumatic day of her life because she had been brutally raped just hours earlier. We see the video. That's not the case. So now we see this. Now this is her out in the wild. This is how she's acting when she's not involved with Trevor Bauer at all. And she's a piece of garbage lady. She's hot. She's hot enough to get herself a $51 million Major League Baseball player. But she is a garbage woman, man. I mean, have you ever dated a really hot girl that was just an absolute trash heap and you stayed with it because it's like, man, I'm not done sleeping with her yet.
Nan. You remember Nan?
Nan? Yeah, I had a couple really bad girls that I stayed in relationships with just because they were really hot, but they were absolute train wrecks.
Well, and they're truth be told, they're fun. They're fun. You introduced me to Nan.
Did I?
Yeah, at Pub and Grub.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I remember Nan. She was the waitress there.
Yeah, and she had the twin sister.
Yeah. Nan was fun. All right.
The whole twin bit. You ever dated a twin?
No.
Oh man, the whole world.
Not true. I dated a twin, but she had a twin brother.
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
At the same time.
Can I tell you about what it's like to date an identical twin? Because there's a little bit of this world that I didn't know about that I stumbled. First off, whenever you first kind of pull aside when you're dating and like you have the talk, like she didn't tell me for a long time that she had a twin sister. And it was when her sister was going to come meet us after I got off work one day that she was like, listen, I just need to tell you, my sister and I are twins. And I was like, what? Like identical, fraternal. And she's like, identical. I was like, oh, wow. And she went through this like list, like she was reading it off a note card, dude. She's had to say this to every guy that she's dated probably since she was 15, right?
Yeah.
She was like, okay, let's go through it. First off, no, we've never kissed. No, we're not going to have a threesome with you. No, we have never had a threesome before. No, we have never done anything before. No, we haven't showered naked since we were very young. Yeah, so she just like, but she did like a list of like 26 phrases that it was like I wasn't even thinking, but like maybe 2/3 of that, you know, a third of that was totally beyond me.
Yeah, but there was some you were thinking that she didn't list.
I was thinking like the first 12, and then it got weird on me, right? And so I was like, oh, what has she been through that she has to delineate, you know, like no, I will not have incestual sex with my sister. And
So
so apparently there's enough guys that have just pummeled both of them with that. It's horrible for them. It's if you're a beautiful woman and you have a twin sister, it's horrible.
Yeah, I bet it is. And I bet a lot of guys, just dumb enough to do that. You bring up the twins and the twin sister thing. I fell in a wiki hole, or I guess a YouTube hole, over the weekend. Oh my God, James, it is the most heartwarming stuff I've ever seen. It's a whole series of videos of babies that are like, I don't know, 9 months, 10, 11, 12 months, babies seeing their mom's twin sisters for the first time. And like little babies looking at two of their mommies in front of them. Dude, it is so cute. It is the most heartwarming, adorable thing. Because the baby just is like, I got two of them. You know, the baby's like, man, this is gonna be awesome. Yeah. And in a number of the videos, they have the twin sister dressed exactly like the mom. So it's, you know, so the baby's like looking at and they wear their hair the same way. It's crazy. Twins are fun. Twins are fun, but I don't want to see twins kiss. That's weird. Isn't that incest? It's not a thing.
Apparently a lot of guys want to see that, and they want to see it really bad. And they want to have like a threesome with twins. And
okay, do you want to see that? I mean, is that like, I understand that's a guy fan. It's like, yeah, man, I got two Swedish bikini model twins. It was great. Like, I understand that as like the pretend goofy fantasy. But if you were really in a situation where you had two twin sisters and they were like getting into sexy stuff with you, wouldn't you be completely freaked out by that? That these two are blood relatives and that you're involved in this weirdness? I don't think if push came to shove when the rubber hits the road, I would be able to go through with it. I mean, I get the Swedish bikini team fantasy. I get that. But in reality, wait, that's your sister. Don't kiss her. That's taking me out of the mood.
Yeah, and as hot as it is for two beautiful women to be kissing, like, could you fight through it if they were sisters? And like,
I don't think I could.
I would like to think I could. I would like to think I could.
No, I mean, I could if they weren't sisters.
Whatever the right answer is.
Like, yeah, whatever the one that, yeah. No, but if they weren't sisters, of course, that's not a problem. But the idea is, I mean, even if they were stepsisters, like, I can get into like how that could be hot, stepsisters. But the minute it becomes like blood inbred incest, that's where I start to get a little bit, nope, right? That's, for me, that's a line too far. Because now I'm like, what am I complicit in here, right? I mean, I'm involved in this now. And
yeah, and what is this, Game of Thrones now?
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like that.
Lannisters.
All right. What else do we have? What else can we talk about today?
Do we care about McCarthy being knocked out of the House, Speaker of the House?
Not really. I mean, do we? I mean, if you got a take on it, go ahead. I mean, I've been watching it all day, but you know what?
Well, I think I should care about it because it's the first time it's ever happened in the history of Congress, which I think is kind of a sad reflection on Congress. Y'all never get pissed off at your speaker, and now they've all just been perfect guys, right? Didn't we have Dennis Hastert, who was like raping his way through the boys' wrestling circuit for a few decades before?
Well, that was before. That was before.
I know, like,
Republicans made him the most important member of their caucus.
No, right? You've had some pretty horrible people hold that gavel before, but this is the guy that gets ousted. So I don't know if this is a good thing or it's a bad thing, but it's interesting, and I feel like I should care, but I don't.
Oh, I think it's definitely a bad thing. I don't think there's any way that this can be a good thing. It's an example of the breakdown of our entire legislative system. I mean, yeah, that's a real. Oh, of course it is. When the dominant party can't form a caucus that can support a speaker, yeah, that means the whole system is not working the way it's supposed to.
No, that means there's someone within a party that's not just willing to toe the party line because they're in a position of power.
All right. Well, then if that's the case, we need more parties. We can't just have a two-party system.
Totally agree to that too.
Yeah. All right. I mean, do you wanna? I don't really have anything more to say on this, but you might. You're more political.
Oh, as far as the McCarthy thing goes.
Yeah.
No, I feel like I should care, but I just
I know, right? Because I recognize it's a big deal, but I don't care.
but it's also like, well, this has never happened before. So what's going on special now? It's like a lot's going on special now. Okay.
Yeah, we're in a very interesting timeline, as we talked about in the very beginning of the show.
Right. And we've never been in the position where the previous president is facing like 91 felony charges either. So this guy getting kicked out of office seems like pretty small potatoes.
And also, James, in fairness to you and me and all of us, really, you cannot have perspective when it's going on. We're in the middle of this thing. You know what I mean? This is like it's 1:00 in the afternoon on September 11th, 2001. We have no perspective on what this represents or what this is going to be. This is just, we're in the middle of it. These are crazy times. I had something that I wanted to do here today. It was a big time waster. But were you in the middle recently of a Seinfeld rewatch?
Yeah, in fact, we watched a couple episodes this week.
You did?
Yeah. Okay,
so I found something that I thought was interesting, and I thought maybe that you might appreciate this since you are in the middle of a Seinfeld rewatch. I found a list on Ranked of Jerry Seinfeld's girlfriends throughout the course of the show. He always every episode he had another stunning girlfriend.
He had a lot of stunning girlfriends. Absolutely.
Makes me think that the Jerry Seinfeld of the Seinfeld show was a much more successful TV comic than maybe was let on in the show.
Well, it was. I felt like he was manifesting his future with that show because that's not who he was when the show started. But that's who he was when the show ended.
Yeah, he was dating girls that were 20 years younger than him and supermodels. All right. So the other thing that was most interesting is that not all of them, I shouldn't say all of them, but man, one of the fun things about rewatching Seinfeld's is his girlfriends, a lot of them went on to be very famous.
Yeah, like Terry Hatcher and
Sidra, they're real and they're spectacular. I believe Sidra, James, is the #1 ranked girlfriend of Jerry Seinfeld.
Who are you asking? I'm your biggest dirtbag friend.
Here, let's watch.
Now that Bruce has died, I'm your biggest dirtbag friend.
Yeah, you might be. All right, so there he is. Sidra Holland. Sidra Holland comes in at #1. Terry Hatcher.
What a beautiful woman. She's like one of those. She's going to be beautiful when she's 70.
Oh, yeah. All right, #2, Nikki. All right. I don't know who Nikki was. This stunning beauty could seemingly bend the world to her whims with just a smile, as demonstrated in season 9's The Calzone. Despite her uncanny ability to attract the attention in favor of everyone she encounters, her relationship with Jerry comes to an unceremonious end when she takes advantage of her good looks one too many. I'm unfamiliar with this storyline. Are you familiar with Nikki?
I don't think I've ever seen this one.
She's pretty.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. How about this one? Haley. I don't think I remember Haley. Haley's pretty good looking. She was in season 8's Soulmate, portrayed by actress Samantha Smith.
Yeah, this is when Jerry and Elaine were dating a brother and sister.
Yes, that is what the description says. Okay, you know about this. Berta Wagsford, Brigitte. This lovely artist captures Jerry's heart in season 6's The Soup. I don't know what that is. All right, so whatever. There's her. Okay, here, Amanda Peet.
Oh, I do remember Amanda Peet being on there. That's amazing.
She was in the Summer of George episode, which is one of the great Seinfeld episodes. Jerry is smitten by this attractive woman who invites him to spend the summer at her family's beach house. Regrettably, this is the one where the water was cold. Remember, George goes into the pool.
I was in the pool.
Elaine sees his dick.
Yeah.
It was shrinkage.
It shrinks like a turtle.
All right, #6, Jenna. Kristen Davis, of course.
Oh, yeah.
What show is she on? The Horseface Girl.
Sex in the City.
Sex in the City, Kristen Davis. Man, this is a thoroughbred of a woman, James. Kristen Davis, especially
she looked the best out of the Sex in the City reboot. I saw a few episodes of that. It was too stupid. I couldn't continue, even though I'm a fan. She still looks good, and she's like 60.
Oh, she is like even in their prime, like when the Sex in the City women were in their prime, she was a solid certified 10. And the rest of them, like, maybe Kim Cattrall was like a 7.5. But she was like, she's beautiful, Kristen Davis.
Yeah.
#6, she played Jenna. I don't remember exactly what that relationship was. Christine Taylor, Mrs. Ben Stiller, played Ellen. on who was another one of Jerry Seinfeld's girlfriends.
I love her, but I don't remember that episode.
I don't either. Melissa, number 8, Jerry Seinfeld best girlfriend. She was the naked lady. Remember the naked lady who Jerry was uncomfortable because she would lay around the house naked, and then Jerry decided that he was going to join her and he was going to be naked, and she was repulsed by his naked body.
Oh no, I didn't see this one. Dang.
Yeah.
I gotta finish watching this.
Melissa was his nudist girlfriend. Jennifer Campbell, she was the lady on the plane. When Elaine had to be back in coach and Jerry got to sit in first class next to a supermodel.
Yeah, and then they're just toasting their champagne glasses while Elaine's in hell. Yeah.
And Lori Loughlin, of course, Aunt Becky from Full House. She played Patty. She comes in at number 10, the best Seinfeld girlfriends. All right, let's see. What else do we have? Courtney Cox.
I saw that one.
Courtney Cox played Meryl.
Season 3, that means I saw it for sure.
Helen Slater, she's another big one. Oh, look at this. Deborah Messing played Beth Luckner. Season 8's The Yada Yada.
Wow, she looks so good there. Look at her.
Oh my God, she was so beautiful. Deborah Messing in the mid-90s. Oh
yada,
my
yada,
God.
yada, yada, yada. Yeah.
God, she was gorgeous.
That one.
Who's this one? I don't know who she is. She's pretty too. I'm liking these 90s haircuts. A lot of these girls, they're not pushing me away.
Right. It's not disgusting.
Yeah,
the deaf lady.
Marlee Matlin, the lip reader.
Man, you're so good at these names. Oh, there it is, actor Marlee Matlin. Did it not have the previous actor listed?
She wasn't famous.
Okay.
It's like this one, like Sergeant Kathy Tierney. Remember he was dating the cop and she asked him questions. She cross-examined him and it made him feel uncomfortable.
I don't think I've seen this one.
Really? Okay. All right. Well, she's not famous. That's Catherine Lanasa. Jane, played by Jamie Gertz. Look at this. Jane in season 5's The Stall.
Yeah, man, she ended up in so much stuff.
Jamie Gertz. Jamie Gertz is one of the wealthiest people in Hollywood.
How's that?
Well, first of all, Arthur Gertz is her father. He's a hedge fund guy. He owns half of Chicago. So she started out like a billionaire's daughter, and then she married a billionaire. She's married to some billionaire hedge fund person. She's worth like $50 billion. Yeah, Jamie Gertz is on top of some ridiculous fortune. She's got even more money than Julia Louis-Dreyfus, which is crazy because she's like got the Dreyfus Fund money. I don't know who Cindy is, but that's a bad haircut. She's 19. We'll go to 20. Dolores, Susan Walters.
Yeah, he didn't remember her name the whole episode.
Clitoris, right? Yeah. It's the vulva.
Mulva.
Like he didn't know what her name was. I'm trying to find some other like famous ones. Brenda Strong. All right, she was Sue Ellen Mishke. She played.
What else do I know her from? I don't recognize that.
Brenda Strong. She went on to be a regular on Desperate Housewives and some other things. Anyway, she played Sue Ellen Mishke, who was, of course, Elaine's college roommate. Sue Ellen Mishke is the heir to the. Was it Baby Ruth fortune?
Yeah, it says the wealthy braless candy bar heiress.
Yes. What was she the heir? It was some crazy weird candy.
Yeah, like Charleston Chew or something.
There's Marla, of course, Jane Leeves, who would go on to fame with Frasier. Marla, she was The Contest. Remember, she was the virgin who runs off with
Yeah, everyone's favorite episode.
She would The Contest, probably the greatest episode. This one, Donna Chang.
You know you're not an Asian, yeah. Or no, you're not Chinese, yeah.
You're Changstein. I believe that was what her name was. Her original name was Changstein, and the family shortened it to Chang. So the story here is that Jerry met her on the phone, and they hit it off, and he was intrigued by her because he always wanted to date a Chinese girl, and then he met her. She's not Chinese,
right?
It was Donna Changstein. What else is this? Okay, so this is the cigar store Indian girl. Remember the Native American girl? Winona.
Yeah, I okay. I just remember seeing that face.
The tobacco shop was giving away the giant cigar store Indian, and Kramer wanted it.
Yeah.
Even though it might be culturally insensitive, and Jerry was dating a Native American girl at the time. Let's see, who else do we have? Lauren Graham. Look at this. Lauren Graham, Gilmore Girls. She played Valerie.
Apparently, I need to watch season 8. Apparently, I missed a lot of season 8.
Appearing in season 8's The Millennium, this girlfriend interests Jerry with her unique method of ranking all aspects of her life. Sadly, the relationship comes to an unexpected end when Jerry is outranked by her stepmother. Oh, you remember on the phone? Remember he's in a relationship with her and she pulls out her phone and he sees that like her her stepmother is ranked higher on the phone list than Jerry is, and Jerry breaks up with her because of it.
I haven't seen this one. I can't help you. I'm sorry.
That was a good one. All right, Janine Garofalo. She was the one that was Jerry fell in love with her and he wanted to marry her, and then he realized that the only reason he fell in love with her is because she's exactly like him. And do you remember that one? She was like his clone.
That's one of those I hadn't seen since like 1991 or whatever.
What's the description here? In the season 7 finale, The Invitations, this girlfriend, played by Janine Garofalo, shares an uncanny number of similarities with Jerry, including their names, sense of humor, and favorite superhero. Despite their immediate connection and a brief engagement, Jerry ultimately realizes that he is unable to marry someone so similar to himself. And then there was another one. There was a similar storyline. He was dating Tracy Nelson, who is the daughter of Ricky Nelson and the rock band Nelson. He was dating her and he had to break up with her because, do you remember, she looked like him? Like he looked at her and he saw him. And that was funny because she really did look like him. All right. I think that's it. We got any other good ones?
Yeah, I'm not recognizing any of these ladies.
Catherine Keener. She's a big actress. Melinda Clark. I don't know who that is. Katya. Elena Lowenstein. Tracy Colas. Okay, yeah, I don't know any of these people. There's got to be at least one more big one. Right?
Are there? I didn't. Man, he cleaned up apparently.
Anna Gunn. Look at that.
Tyler.
Breaking Bad. Anna Gunn, season 3, The Nose Job. Jerry dated her. Her name was Amy. Susan Snyder. Yeah, all very attractive.
Just knock them out. Just go through all of them. Let's not miss one.
Yeah, I think that's it. We're done. Those are all of them. And we did miss some because they didn't have Tracy Nelson in there. Tracy Nelson. All right, James, that's it. I got nothing else. Happy Radio Misfits Day. Are you done?
Our work here is done.
All right. There you go.
Hey, my name, W.T. Blunt. No one cares about that?
Yeah, tell me, what is it about?
So W.T. Blunt was the Texas health officer that put in the vaccine mandate for Laredo.
Oh, on the anniversary of the smallpox outbreak that we learned about
years ago tomorrow.
Earlier today. All right, very good. All right, there he goes. That's James. We'll be back tomorrow at noon for the High Noon Show. Join us. Come one, come all. I guess that's it. Florida Stories. He never promotes that. You should go get the Florida Stories thing. All right, that's it. I'm done. Bye, everybody. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow at noon for the High Noon Rant with me, Pugs Moran, right here on the Radio Misfits podcast platform. Always had to be on guard. That is understood. It has been a journey, a multi-answer test. I am on a never-ending quest. Tomorrow is another day. The best is yet to